Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and tackle something I think we've all felt at one point or another. You know that immense, almost crushing feeling of cosmic insignificance you get when you look up at a really clear night sky? The universe is just unimaginably huge. It expands way, way beyond our solar system, out into territories that our human brains literally can't even grasp. And since we're a highly evolved, intelligent species, it's completely natural for us to ask, what exactly is Earth's role in all of this? Are we supposed to be doing something to nurture this massive universe? Well, today we're going to look closely at these really monumental questions and hopefully reframe how we see our place in the cosmos.
Section 1. The Cosmic Question. Finding Our Purpose.
So, because we're these highly intelligent, highly conscious beings, we kind of carry this heavy burden. We're always looking for a grand plan, right? We look around at our modern world, this incredibly advanced global village we've built, and we genuinely start to wonder if we've somehow disconnected from the universe's ultimate intention. There's this lingering, low-level anxiety that living energy here on Earth was supposed to sync up perfectly with the universe, and instead we've just completely failed our fundamental purpose. We even worry that this failure is exactly what's going to eventually drive Earth into extinction.
But here's the thing, our advanced consciousness might not be a failure at all. The legendary astronomer Carl Sagan once said, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." Now, he wasn't talking about a literal assigned mission from a creator, but that thought captures something so deeply profound. Our consciousness isn't a glitch. It's an incredibly rare, highly significant phenomenon. We haven't failed a universal purpose, mainly because, as we'll see in a minute, that whole idea assumes there was a predefined purpose to begin with.
Moving on to Section 2. A Universe Without Intention. The Physical Reality. To really understand this, we have to zoom all the way out to cosmology. If we trace the universe all the way back to the Big Bang, what we see is a steady physical progression. Matter formed, stars ignited and started forging heavier elements, planets coalesced, chemistry got complex, and eventually, at least right here on Earth, life popped up. But here's the absolutely critical takeaway. At no stage in this massive timeline do we actually observe any goal-directed behavior. The universe is governed strictly by physical laws, things like gravity, thermodynamics, and quantum mechanics. They operate perfectly and consistently, but they aren't aiming at a specific outcome. There's plenty of structure, sure, but there's zero intention. So the crucial point is that Earth is not some chosen planet with a sacred mission. Instead, it's governed by the laws of thermodynamics, specifically entropy. Entropy is basically the universe's overall unstoppable trend toward disorder and equilibrium. Yet, right here on our little blue planet, specific energy flows allow for these temporary, brilliant spikes in complexity. Life itself is essentially a pocket of resistance against this cosmic drift. We aren't fulfilling some cosmic mandate. We're just a spectacular, temporary rebellion against universal disorder.
Which brings us to Section 3, Islands of Meaning, Life in the Universe.
If we zoom back in to see how life actually behaves in this massive, neutral landscape, we see it emerges through natural selection. And evolution has no foresight. It just filters out what doesn't survive. But in doing so, life forms basically act as islands of meaning. They function locally by ramping up complexity and organization. They radically transform their environments. I mean, just think about how early life literally pumped the Earth's atmosphere full of oxygen. And most amazingly, when complexity hits a certain threshold, life creates awareness. It creates memory, imagination, and values. It literally creates the ability to ask the very questions we're asking right now.
And as that awareness expanded, human beings developed technology. It's so important that we reframe how we think about this. Our high-tech global village is not a break from the natural universe. It's actually a direct, perfectly natural extension of our biological evolution. From crafting the first basic tools, to inventing language, to developing the scientific method, and now creating artificial intelligence, this is simply how an intelligent species goes about increasing its influence over its environment. But this evolution brings up a really fascinating tension in our modern age. While our technology is a natural progression, it creates a super dangerous imbalance. On one hand, we're gaining this immense power and influence over our environment incredibly fast, but our understanding? That's lagging way behind. We are actively reshaping entire ecosystems far faster than we're gaining the wisdom to fully comprehend what those changes actually do. We're incredibly powerful, but as a species, we're honestly still pretty mature.
Let's look at Section 4. The Illusion of Separation, Our Cosmic Connection.
Because we have all this immense technological power, we often feel artificially separated from the natural universe, like we're somehow outside of it. But scientifically speaking, there is absolutely no separation to bridge. You are already fundamentally physically embedded in the ongoing system of the cosmos. Every single atom in your body was forged in the fiery core of an ancient star. The neurons firing in your brain right at this very second, they operate on the exact same physical laws that dictate how distant galaxies swirl. There's no hidden VIP layer of the universe you're failing to access, and there is no physical boundary where you end and the universe begins. And that brings us to a really fascinating paradox. If we're physically one with the universe, why do we feel so incredibly lost and separated from it? Well, the irony is that our advanced consciousness, the exact same tool that lets us reflect, hold values, and ask deep existential questions, is precisely what creates that illusion of separation in the first place. The universe itself is totally indifferent, but parts of it, meaning us, care deeply. We kind of expect that because we're so advanced, we must be meant for something specific. And when we don't find some built-in cosmic assignment waiting for us, our self-awareness translates that absence into a feeling of failure and disconnection.
Finally, Section 5, Choosing Our Own Purpose. The Future on Earth. To figure out a real actionable game plan for our future, we have to take a hard look at the actual risks we face. When we talk about the potential extinction of Earth, we've got to clearly separate the timelines. In the extreme long term, stellar evolution is eventually going to make Earth uninhabitable. That's just astrophysics. It has nothing to do with us. However, the short-term risks, things like climate instability, biodiversity collapse, and the reckless misuse of advanced tech, those are entirely the consequences of human behavior. Those aren't cosmic judgments. They are practical, everyday problems that we actually have the power to fix. Look, the grand universe out there does not need us to care for it. It doesn't need our preservation. It's going to keep evolving regardless of what happens to life on Earth. But our fragile, local conditions, those absolutely require our nurturing and protection. Our ecosystems desperately need balance to survive. Human civilizations need stability to flourish. And conscious beings, us, we need meaning, ethics, art, and global cooperation to actually thrive. These are the things that actually demand our attention. So the absolutely most useful thing we can do is radically reframe our big question. Instead of agonizing over what is our purpose in the universe, we need a shift in perspective. We've got to drop the anxiety of some invisible cosmic obligation and just fully embrace our very real human responsibility. The universe gave us the conditions, sure, but it is entirely up to us to generate the meaning within them. Our responsibility isn't to the cosmos, it's to each other. It's to the other living systems we share this rock with, and to the fragile conditions that allow our awareness to exist at all. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final, empowering thought. There is zero evidence that we have failed a universal mission, mostly because the universe never handed out roles in the first place. And that lack of a universal mission, that isn't a tragedy. It is the ultimate blank canvas. The universe doesn't need meaning, but conscious beings inevitably create it. So, knowing that we are conscious, highly capable, and wonderfully temporary, what kind of world are you going to choose to create?